Yeah. And actually, my cousin, she just finished her university entrance exam yesterday, and
Okay.
and yeah, and she think she wants to have a holiday or vacation with me. But the problem is, yeah, he I thought she didn't, ask me before officially. And we talked about it maybe months ago, but I thought it's just an idea at that moment. And I think at that time she said uh she wanted to visit one of her friends in another province. And I think, okay, it's great. And yeah, but yesterday she came up with the idea that go out someplace with me. But I just, we have, I don't know, when I with her, I think we don't have the common topics. And I think and I just don't not that quite fun. Not boring. It's boring, I think, but just I cannot find some interesting things with her, and we have different thoughts. So I don't, and yeah, and I can reject her, but the problem is when I and rejected her, and she will not have this vacation because of me. Maybe it's not her purpose, but just let me feel like it. And that's kind of things happens a lot. Like my friend asked me about something and they are really want to do, but I don't want to. So I told them, but then they just end up the whole thing and let me think
They,
it's because of me.
okay,
Yeah.
so then they sort of make you feel guilty because you messed up their life.
Yeah, yeah, kind of. Even though they didn't, tell me about it, but they always end up things because without me. But I'm not important. Even I'm not important in that things. And like, oh, okay, you don't want to go, then we don't go. I just so it's make me hard to refuse them.
Sure.
No, just oh.
Yep. Yep. Um, so just to confirm something here, does it seem like these people made the assumption that you agreed beforehand or not?
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
think,
So
yeah.
that happens commonly. Maybe people just tell you an idea and you really don't comment on it, but then they assume that because they told you the idea and you didn't say no earlier, then they assume that um, that you are agreeable. Is that what
Yeah,
happens?
yeah,
Okay. hmm hmm Yeah, some people make the assumption that if they present an idea and you don't say no, then that means yes, which isn't necessarily true, right? Uh, and you might have sort of thought no previously, but you say, well, it's just an idea. I don't have to. They haven't really invited me, right? But
yeah, yeah,
maybe in their mind they have sort of invited you. Uh, um, so in the future, you might be sort of try to be aware of that. And so when people give you an idea and say, well, um, um, I don't know whether you're inviting me now or not to that, my offhand feeling at this time would be, um, I don't think it would fit for me. But so, do you have any more questions for me? I feel like you could try to anticipate that because there seems to be maybe a miscommunication that's common. Uh, I think you and I get along very well, but I tend to think, I tend to really notice language and I use it more exactly than most people do. And so, whereas other people, they say, well, uh, I told her this idea and she didn't say no. And so they would assume yes, right? Since Ricky seems such an agreeable type person.
Yeah.
Okay. But now let's just deal with the current situation, all right? So why don't you play your cousin and I'll play you.
Okay. Okay.
So you go ahead.
Well, I think I will. Yeah. Let us just decided well we are going.
So you're asking me to decide where we're going? I'm confused. Going for what purpose?
We just we can make a short trip. I just finished my final exam, so
Okay.
yeah.
So you're inviting me for a short trip. Um, you mean like 2 or 3 days or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, um, I'm very touched by your invitation, and I can understand, that you would want to celebrate this. And I don't see how I can do that and still sort of take care of what I need to take care of for myself.
But I think we talked it before.
Oh, hmm. Well, what I remember from before was that you presented some idea like this uh, that could happen, or we might consider, but I just heard that as an idea. I didn't hear that as an invitation that I said yes to. Do, do you remember me saying yes? I don't remember me saying yes.
No, but you didn't say no too. So I think
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. I didn't say no. So did you assume that because I didn't say no, that meant yes?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow. I never imagined that you would assume that. Hmm. I think we need to figure out our language together.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, so I will try to be more aware of that in the future, but
Mhm.
unless I say yes, it doesn't mean yes. Like if I don't say anything, that doesn't mean yes. Uh, is that okay with you in the future? Because I really value my relationship with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. All right. And I'm, you know, I'm sorry if you're disappointed. I won't be going with you, but I wish you the best, and it's certainly something to celebrate. And maybe you can go by yourself or invite somebody else to go with you.
Okay. We'll think it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So stepping outside the mock, what do you think of this approach, Vicky?
Yeah. I think Yeah, I have, yeah, I think so.
By the way, there's some interesting ways that people say no that are not so powerful compared to more powerful ways. For example, you could have said something like, people might say, "Oh, I can't do that because of the law," or something like that.
Oh,
Compared to say, "Well, I don't see how a way to do that and still take care of the things I need to take care of." So when you say "I don't," it's much more clear and definite and strong than to say "I can't," or like because like that. I mean, you still have a reason in this case, a general reason, but can you feel how the "don't" is stronger than the "can't"?
yeah, I can feel it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like, it's like, this is my policy, I don't do things unless I can see how I can take care of myself. Now, if she asked you more details, you could decide to give them or not, but you need to um, be very clear, that unless she can really show you something or suggest something where you really do change your mind, then you
Oh,
still stick with, taking care of yourself.
okay. Yeah.
There was one time, I may have told you this story. There was a Chinese girl, and she asked me if I would correct her, uh, or make some suggestions about her essay, and
Oh, yeah.
I said no. Sorry, I don't know how to do that and still take care of myself. And then she gave me another proposal, which she said, "I'll meet you at your local mall. We'll go to a restaurant. I'll treat you for lunch. And if you just glance over my paper a little bit and give me any offhand suggestions, that will be fine. And we can just chat and enjoy." I thought, okay, she changed the deal in my mind. Okay, I can enjoy doing that. So, um, so anything else to be complete about this? Does this seem workable for you, Ricky, to do this with not only your
Yeah,
cousin but with your other friends? Yeah, because
yeah.
I think I've sort of noticed that about you, that you tend to just not say anything,
Yeah.
and uh, making people possibly think that you're agreeable with stuff like that. And
Yeah.
that can be a good policy sometimes. I'm not saying it's not a good policy, um, but if you have any idea that they might be assuming your
Yeah.
silence means something, about what you might do in the future, it's better to find out about that then, just bring it up, um,
Yeah, well,
or
do it.
even make,
Yeah.
or even maybe get in the habit about, "Oh, that sounds like it might be a very exciting idea for you. Right now, I can't see myself in that picture, but it sounds like it could be great for you if you found another way to do it."
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think it will work, for me. And I will consider it or notice it in the
Okay,
future.
good. Okay, good. Anything else about that, or anything else for today?
Yeah, actually, it bring up another questions I want to
Okay.
ask
Mhm.
you. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a kind of opposite about this problem is when I ask my friends like go out or I have some ideas, I try to make clear with them, like, when do you have the time, for this appointment? And I will tell them exactly the time and exactly the activities we will play. But at that time, and they said okay, and definitely okay. And somehow I don't know why, just before the days, before the day before the day we decided to make, to do something, and suddenly they just changed their mind. And because a lot of things, I'll always have things happening before the day, so I just I I just don't know how to deal with it.
Sure. But it sounds like you're a little bit like me in this regard, because I'm pretty reliable in terms of, like, if I say I'm going to do something at a certain time, sometimes I want to reschedule, or I might have some last minute reason, but I will look ahead. I will look at, could there be some condition where I might want to change my mind? Usually there's not, but if there is, I will even tell the person about it at that time. I say, okay, I agree to do this unless, something like that. But most people don't do that, or they're not in the habit, or they even have a policy, even though they may not say this openly, they might even have a policy in their head, even though they're saying yes, it means yes, unless something else more interesting comes up, or somebody else asked me to do something, or something like that. So there may be some things you can do to make it less likely, but I don't know that you can. So sometimes something I do in this situation, if I know that maybe that person has a track record with me, that they're not so consistent or reliable, I will say to them, I remember the last time you said you were going to do this, and I was so excited, and I was planning on it and everything, and then even just the day before, you changed, you canceled it, and I think it was I don't think you were in the hospital, so I don't think it was for that reason. So I'm just concerned. I mean, you said you'll do this, on this date with me, but I'm just concerned that you might decide to change your mind, or, last minute for some other reason. Um, hey, would you play a game with me? If for any reason I cancel, I will pay you 100 RMB. If for any reason you cancel, you'll pay me 100 RMB. Are you? And of course, nobody pays anything if we just do it, right? So, would you be willing to play that game with me? Because I'd like to. I'm really excited about this, and I'd like to count on it. Would you be willing to play that game with me?
Okay.
I know that's a little bit strange, Riki, but I've actually done that with people, and it's amazing. It gets almost always they keep their appointment then. And you're letting people know how it's important to you. It's like, maybe they just, in their mind, they just say, oh, it's not so important. It won't bother Riki much if I change. What do you think?
Yeah. I think it's a good idea. Yeah.
But you have to be proactive, and, like, after they agree, then you would say that extra stuff. Sort of assuming that maybe you have some reason to believe that they might. I suppose you could do it first time with somebody, because you don't know, or you just say, look, I've had some trouble sometimes with other people, but when I make an appointment, it's almost like it's my word, and so I remember one guy I met. This is back in 1984, and he was helping me with some programming stuff, and we would already agree the next time we would get together, But I think 2 times in a row he was late, like 20, 30 minutes late or more. So I just pulled him aside, say, I really appreciate your relationship. You're doing great work with me, and I don't know what's going on with you being later than we agreed upon. If you need to agree to a later time, then tell me, fine, but I would really like to rely on you on being on time or even a little bit before. Do you think that's possible? And he said, yes. After that time, he was on time. So just like I didn't blame him, I didn't. I just had a respectful conversation with him to try to, in his case, it changed his behavior. With me, I don't know about anybody else, but with me, it did.
It's great, yeah.
Okay. So do you think that can work for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So is that anything else?
No.